My first bread.
How do you feel?
Amazing.
Hello everyone. Today we are making some, what is this?
Bread.
Just fresh bread?
Yeah.
Some fresh bread. Well, Morgan's going to be making it. I'm just here to coach her along the way. And it is for her 4-H club, right? So this is going to be the first run. This is going to make about 2 loaves. So she's going to be trying to make her first loaf of yeast bread for 4-H club. And I'm really excited about this. So the recipe calls for 7.5 cups of flour, 3 cups of water, 1.5 tablespoons of active dry yeast, and some salt. And then of course we have maxed it. Now this recipe is very easy. It's no knead or anything. You actually just combine everything in the bowl. So let's go ahead and get started. So Morgan, you are going to scoop 7 cups of flour. That's where you use the spoon to scoop it out. We're Sherry, we're taking turns. I am so excited for her to be making her own loaf of bread for the first time. One, I have been on the struggle to find like a homemade bread recipe that she approves of. She's like a little food snobby, I'm not even gonna lie. She's a food critic. But I've been looking for a homemade bread recipe that she likes. She does like the homemade yeast rolls that I'll insert the video here so that you guys can see it. And she also likes the cinnamon rolls that I've made. But when it comes to sourdough, she's not a fan. She did enjoy the homemade bagels, the plain and the cinnamon like streusel topping. So again, I am on the hunt to find the perfect bread recipe for her. Now, the 5-year-old, he's going to eat and he's going to enjoy it. It like makes no difference. But I'm really excited for her to make this loaf of bread and like see the process and everything that goes into making bread. I will say one thing about this recipe, it was a bit large. So when she makes it for her 4-H club, what we're going to do is actually half the recipe. I have the like grams as well as like the cups, and I'm just gonna half the grams so that she's not making as much. And this recipe was kind of labor intensive. I wasn't expecting it to be since it was a no-knead bread. But I think if she starts it on Sunday and then bakes the loaves on Monday, they should be good to go for Tuesday. What I don't want to do is switch up the recipe since she's already done this, so she's familiar with it or whatnot. So we are going to stick with this recipe for the 4-H club competition. Now the other option for the competition was to do a quick bread, like a pumpkin bread or a zucchini bread or anything like that. And I asked her if she wanted to do that, but she wanted to do a yeast bread, like a traditional yeast bread or whatnot. So I just did a quick search to find this recipe. And look, I was not about to argue with her about making this bread because it just like melted my heart that she was interested in it. So I was not complaining. But yeah, this is her first loaf. And I'm telling y'all, this bread was good. I'm not even gonna lie. Watch to the end so you can see the process and everything. But I'm going to tell you now because I'm thinking about it and I regret that I did not bring one of the loaves to my apartment with me. Like I left them all there so that my husband can eat it throughout the week. This bread was good. I would say it is definitely bomb.com. And while we're at it, talking about the end of the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. And if you want to see additional recipes like this, please let me know below. I think this bowl might be too small. Okay.
No.
Morgan.
Yeah.
How much yeast do you need?
Half a tablespoon. Teaspoon.
That's not what I said.
Yes, it is. 1 teaspoon. Tablespoon. 1 tablespoon.
Hey, I wanted to do it.
1.5. Maxie, you'll do the next one. Uh-oh. Let me make sure it's not teaspoon, Morgan. You might be right. At this point, we are making a well to go ahead and add the yeast into.
Do I do my own hole?
I'll just put it in the same hole as this yeast.
Do it.
Okay.
Hey, that's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use it?
Actually, let mommy mix this first. Okay, give it a second, warrior. So the bowl was in fact too small, like I thought. I should have known 7.5 cups of flour plus 3 cups of water was not going to fit in that tiny bowl. But let me tell you, we went ahead and added the salt. I wanted to add more salt. She was like, no, this is going to be for my teacher, so let's do it how we're supposed to do it. I like salt. If I have a guilty pleasure, it is salt. I'm obsessed with salt. Like, I'm going to salt just about everything I eat. It is so good. But now we're just going to go through and get to the mixing process or whatnot. And let me tell you, if you have a kid who has played with slime or Play-Doh, this is the project for them, because I was trying to get it and I wasn't getting it. But I didn't want my hands to get that dirty either. I was ready to break out the KitchenAid and put the dough hook on and have at it. But I left to go do whatever and left them to their own devices. And when I tell you, she got in it, she got in it. And like, she went to work. She so much more than what I would have done, or it would have taken me forever, because again, I was not trying to get my hands all up in there like that. So leave them to their own devices, let them act like it's slime or Play-Doh or something, and this will come out just fine. Now you want it to come together so that it's mixed and sticky. What you don't want is to end up kneading it, because again, this is a no-knead dough, but mix it well so that it is sticky and tacky. That's why I say slime more so than like Play-Doh or whatnot. Put me in, coach. I got this. And that's exactly what she did. She was on it. So I'm going to go do whatever it is I was doing in this moment, and then I'll be back. This is what the dough looks like, and we're gonna let it sit for 2 hours, and we'll be back. After it's actually set overnight, so we're gonna put some parchment paper on our baking sheet and then shape it into some balls, let it get room temperature, and then bake it at 450 degrees.
Okay.
Okay. You ready? Yeah. You might want to put a little oil on your hand. We ended up shaping this into 3 balls, and we're just gonna let those balls rise a little bit, but more importantly, let them come to room temperature before we put them in the oven at 450 degrees. It took about maybe an hour or so for them to actually get to room temperature. And again, the oven was preset at 450 degrees. I will tell you this, one thing that we forgot to do, before we put them in the oven, we did not put a slit at the top for air to escape. Did it affect the overall well-being of the bread? No. But should you? Probably so. So that's what we're gonna do. Let it sit, and then into the oven it goes. A few more minutes. I'd say probably about 10. Yeah. Put it.
My first bread.
How do you feel?
Amazing.
Well, let one of them cool. Wow, this is really crusty.
I was gonna say something, but I said no.
But like my toes.
Yes!
what we ended up doing, because I had to get on the road, is we let 2 rest so that they were fully cooled, and then we went ahead and cut 1. Now I would tell you the crumb will look a little bit different if you let it rest the full time, but you know, once you cut hot bread, the crumb does change. But in this instance, it did not affect the overall taste of the bread or the texture. Now this bread was good. Okay, I'm already about to get me a piece. I'm going to butter it up and I'm going to enjoy it. I love the crust on this. It had almost like a cracker taste to it. And I'm telling you, you could put this as like a bread bowl for some soup. You can make some French toast out of it. This would be oh so delicious on a sandwich.
It's okay.
Okay. I think it's good. I'm gonna give you another piece. Wow. This would be so good on a sandwich. Daddy would like this. Huh? Yeah. Take it to Daddy. Okay. Do we need to bring it to you? Do you want a whole piece? I'm just gonna give you a little of this. Huh? That's a lot of butter, Greg.
Sorry.
Why do people use space as an insult?
Use what? It was good, Morgan.
Like, why do you always say people are so spacey?
Because you're just in your own space.
God dang it.
Wow.
Freaking defense.
Because
This is how much we've eaten of it.